Next is our functions and modules. So what is a function and what is a module? They're both very, very similar. Functions typically just execute, not execute, they typically return a value of some sort. So this is a function because this is returning a value of some sort. This is returning an integer specifically. And this is a module because it does not return anything. There is no return keyword. And typically modules, they don't have, as you notice down here, it's being put into as a variable called result. While modules typically do not have variables, are not put into variables because it doesn't return any values. So another thing important to mention about functions, this is what's called your function definition. This defines what the function is, essentially. So whenever you type this value into your program, this is called your call. And what this call does is once your program steps to that point, it'll go all the way back to your function definition, and it'll execute whatever's inside here. And that's essentially it. You can call it as many times as you want, actually, which is what makes functions so freaking useful. Because with functions, you can actually you can put in code that you typically duplicated a lot, and then you can call those functions many times for that part that you need. So it saves on code duplications. It makes your code much cleaner if you can separate it out into different pieces. And yeah, you should use functions more often. This is a module technically, but function module, same thing. And then here's an example of a function that utilizes what we call parameters and arguments. So parameters, think of them as like your variables. So like your variable x and your variable y. They're typically just variables inside your function. That's it. So let me do an example here. So what's a function name we can consider? Print. Print is technically a module in Python that is used a lot for outputting stuff. So what would be our parameters for print? Well, that would be our message. And whenever we go through the processes inside a print, it'll grab that message or it'll use it in some way. So yeah, basically just like your variable. So then what are arguments? Your arguments are your raw values. So these are your arguments right here. So this will be 2 and 4. This 2 will be declared as x. So x will be 2. And this y will be declared as 4 in this case because it goes in order with the parameters. So going back to the print example, if you want to print hello world, we just do hello world. So there's only one parameter there. So let's just say we got more complex. What if we wanted to add another part to print, like be a good example. Or what could we put into print that would make it useful? Well, let's just do number. Let's just say we want a number for print for whatever reason. I don't know why. So then what we'll just do is we'll just put a comma, and then we'll just put in our value. This value could be a raw value entirely, so you can put 0, or you can put in a variable, actually. So just say we want to put in a, which was declared right above the program, or something like that. And there we go. That's essentially the whole idea of what parameters and arguments are. And I think I briefly went over what functions technically are with this return value right here. Essentially, we're going to get x, which we know is going to be 2 in this case, and y, which we know in this case is going to be 4. Add them together, and then return it. So this call would disappear, and then it will turn into a integer, which will be 2 plus 4, which is 6. It'll just return it as 6. And then that will be put into result as result is a variable. That's the whole idea of functions and modules.